Danielle, the other side obviously is as scummy as they come, but I get more angry at our side than anything else. Our side helping them form a false narrative every time. We have senators like Mitch McConnell, John Thune, Kevin Cramer, Tom Tillis. I could go on and on and on down the list. John Cornyn of Texas may be the biggest turd in the United States of America. They actually join the Democrats so often that we don't have a chance to fight back because we don't have an opposition party.
Yeah, I think that a lot of those politicians, they spend way too much time in DC. They go to cocktail parties together. They hang out all the time. So to them, that's their world. They don't actually live in the world of, for example, Texas, or where a lot of actually these other senators come from are southern states. They're red states. They're places that we could have elected someone who is really hardcore and would keep getting reelected, not a swing district. But they're career politicians who end up staying in DC too long. And unfortunately, they care so much about what the left-wing media thinks. Even though the left-wing media has lost trust, a lot of people don't even tune into it anymore. We see right-wing media actually being more popular. So, but that's what they care about. They care about that having good coverage. And so Mitt Romney instead wants to come out and, get some points with the left because he personally hates Trump and whatever. And so January 6th is kind of their way to stick it to Trump and keep up this narrative. I mean, I don't know how many years they can keep up this narrative. At a certain point, it's like it's time to move on, although it's good we're seeing the truth, but they just want to use this for their own agenda.
Do you think deep down, do you think there are any of these people who understand the damage they've done to the country, the loss of institutional trust just by their ongoing rabid effort to get Trump? Look, even if the guy was the Antichrist, he is not near as bad, could not do near the damage they have done in an effort to get rid of him. Do you think any of them can see it?
It's amazing how they're willing to torpedo their own organizations and their own career just because they hate Trump. It reminds me of the social media companies. Facebook, for example, that does crazy censorship if you're pro-Trump, and yet that would be ad revenue for them. Those would be people who are drawing eyeballs to their page, bringing attention to Facebook, yet they don't care about that. At a certain point, we think as conservatives, they must have self-interest. Maybe they do think about that. But at the end of the day, they're activists. A lot of these people who infiltrate not just social media companies, but other woke companies, as you mentioned, the activists who work for these politicians who end up deciding a lot of things. They're bleeding heart liberals who are willing to torpedo themselves and their own companies just because they hate Trump and have this Trump derangement syndrome. They always say, we have this undying loyalty to Trump. We're, MAGA idiots and so on, which we, of course, are not. But they actually have a much more devout hatred of Trump, I would say, that's mindless and really not even rooted. And again, the facts, looking at what happened on January 6th as an example to change someone's mind, because an independent person watching something like that might say, yeah, I'd like to learn more. I do think there was government involvement. And polling has showed a lot of people actually do think that the government played a role in January 6th.